All right, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for being a part of this platform, Foot Soldier Live. Tuzze ate tube nga tukutuusaako biki ebitambula oba ebigenda mu maaso ku mulirwano gwaffe waneeno e Kenya. As we talk right now, gwe atulaba, I'm here to let you know that Kenyans, Abannakenya batabuse, era Abannakenya balabika si baakussa mukono mpaka nga kye baagala bakifunye. Just a few days protests were zatandika basawo ne banyabo Abannakenya bava ne basaba nga baagala Ruto abeerenga ajjayo bill eno gye baateekawo ya financial bill, era Ruto yesterday yapondose n'amala n'akonsidinga n'agamba tagenda kubanga asayininga bill eno. Wabula era mu conditions endala gye bamutaddeko bagambye nti he must resign from the position of the president. Era yesterday Ruto ennaku ntono nnyo emabega nga bakatandika okwekalakaasa yayogeza amaanyi ng'agamba agenda kubanga akozesa buli kyayina asobole okuba nga alwanyisa abo abaagala okwonoona eggwanga lya Kenya. Era Bannakenya tekyabalemera, bayongera okwongeramu amaanyi okubanga balwanirira ensi yaabwe mpaka lwe bawambye palamenti y'eggwanga lya Kenya. Amateeka nno Kenya byanjawulo gakolamuko kubanga twalabye nga parliament yaganye okuyisa ekiteeso Ruto asobole okuba nga ateeka amagye ku luguudo, ekiraga nti nabo baatidde Bannakenya nti amaanyi bagalina. Era gwatulaba ndi wano okutegeeza nti olunaku olwaleero olwokuna lwe lunaku lwe baasetinga nti bagenda kulumba State House, Ruto mwali baagala abeerenga a resigninga. So gwandaba nina byangenda okutuusaako, njagala owulirize Bannakenya baneeno bali mu nteekateeka as we talk right now mu ddakiika ntono nnyo. They want to march to the State House. The question is, if they manage to capture the parliament, do you think they will be able to penetrate into the State House? Because this is the last point whereby they are ready to take on the leadership of their country. And of course, if they happen to do so, gwandaba, or if there is any Kenyan watching me live right now, you can as well feel free to let us know, who do you think he is the potential candidate to lead Kenya right now? Because Raila Odinga, according to what I know, he is also of, ever since Kenyans saw a picture of Raila Odinga, Samuel Ruto and Yoweri Museveni, ne Raila Baba Raila Odinga bamujjamu Obwesige. Now there is a picture that caught my attention, a picture of a parliamentarian that is by the names of Babu Owino was twamulabye nga abuuka ebisenge bya parliament okwegatta ku beekalakaasi. That is the picture I was talking about. That picture, Babu Owino yavudde mu parliament najja yeegatta ku bannancu kuba ku Bannakenya ababadde beekalakaasa ne bayingira mu parliament ne bagiwamba. He is an MP, of course, on the side of the people. And of course, he happens to be a good friend to Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu aka Bobby Wine. Eranga, he has the same story like Bobby Wine. Born from the ghetto, raised in the ghetto, and of course he rose into the parliament. Yachikirira abantu b'ekifo bagiyita embakasi. Yes, yo. But of course today, era mobilization are going on. Wabula nina conversation je ntapinze je njagala mu abatulaba muwulirize mutegere how these people are organized. And of course with their organization, I strongly believe they can do whatever they want to do such that they save their nation Kenya. Katuwulirize, we're coming back in a bit.
We know all the tactics he's using, and he's smart. We need to be smarter. And the other
Karuga tukusikii, mama mnamsikia? I can't hear you, Karuga. As Karuga anasort internet yake, Mark, you can speak.
Thank you for the opportunity. And let me start by saying rest in power to those who have been subject to the violence on the part of the government. And mine are just two things. The first one is, as unfortunate as the circumstances are,
polisi mishahara yao ni kidogo. Wakiona we are that serious, hata wao wata back down, kwa sababu kwani polisi kwa nini waliregea nyuma? Si hata walishindwa kutuzuia, waliregea nyuma kwa sababu waliona yenyewe we are marching for a good cause. That's why pia wao waka pull back, wakarudi nyuma. Sipokuwa tu kuna wale ambao walikuwa wakorofi, wale ambao walishuti watu, ni kama walikuwa maybe they are paid or something, walikuwa wametumwa for that cause. But askari wale walikuwa wanazuia waliregea nyuma kwa sababu waliona yenyewe these guys are fighting for the real cause. And so nasema guys, kindly leo uoga itoke, venye tulianza tuendelee. Parliament we are coming, status we are coming. So ile kitu iko ni at the end of the day najua atafika mahali atatokelezea, atuongeleshe, akuje kama atatoka hapo nje ya State House aweke ma speakers atuongeleshe na sisi atusikize zile grievances zetu tuko nazo. At the end of the day tutasema Zakayo ashuke. Manake tunataka hii serikali yote ishuke chini, we put new leaders because we are tired of these guys. Kama kuna mtu hajachoka, mimi nimechoka. So me I'm coming from utawala, wale wako utawala Benedict hawana fair, kindly DM, tunatokelezea na tunaingia. Mimi tuko ndani kibe na uangalie DM yako wakati fulani nilikuwa nimekudm. Thank you.
Thank you Dan Pet. Nitaangalia DM. Geoff Maingi. Geoff Maingi anakuni yani. Let's go to the lawyer. Nyabuto. I'm coming to you, Gideon.
Yes, Kibe, thank you for giving me the opportunity. This is a very interesting conversation that is ongoing. However, we need to set the record straight on some things. The way I've heard you try to ask what's the way forward after the withdrawal statements made by President Ruto. But from where we stand as a country, the IEBC is not properly constituted, and that is where we should draw the energies to. Without a properly constituted IEBC, then no election can be held in Kenya. And no presidential election will be held in light of what we want, hashtag reject Ruto or remove Ruto from office. That can't really happen as at the moment. Also, the withdrawal statement or the memorandum of withdrawal the president signed yesterday and sent back to parliament is not entirely a withdrawal per se, because it only has recommendation to delete all clauses. As we know, the parliament is the National Assembly at the moment is on recess. It's going to go on recess, and the buck now stops with Wetangula, who's the speaker. If he decides to call, yes, he might call, and even if they do have a vote of whether to adopt the recommendations or not, if they do, then that is a win for us as a liberation movement. But if Wetangula and the members of parliament do not accept the recommendation of the president, then the bill will be passed into law automatically, because it will just go with the wave, go back to the president for signing. If he declines, then after 14 days, then it becomes law, because he would have been defeated and he can't send it back again. He can't resend it back to parliament once he's already exercised his right for the memorandum of our appeal, or rather reconsideration. So in short, we are sort of cooked, but not cooked. The buck stops now back to the parliament, to the National Assembly. And this was designed by our drafters of the Constitution, where they sought to have a proper separation of powers, where the executive and the legislature and the judiciary cannot be in bed as per law. And where we stand at the moment, that is the case. Nothing can really happen until Wetangula says it happens.
So demanding for fresh elections will not work.
Demanding for fresh elections at the moment, Kibe, I won't lie to you, it won't work. We need to have a properly constituted IEBC. So now our main drive should be to articulate that we want a proper constituted IEBC. If that's not going to be in place, then all we are doing is just beating water in the drum. There's nothing that's going to happen. And even if we are to say impeach
This guy should stop lying to people.
And if you're going to say impeach Ruto, it's not going to happen because the IEBC is not properly constituted at the moment. And IEBC, as we know, is a constitutional office that is designed to conduct elections in the Republic.
That's true.
All right.
Hey.
Over to you, Kibe. Back to you, Kibe. Thank you.
Hey. Kibe. Kibe, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay. Like I was saying, people should not sell fear to Kenyans, because as we speak right now, I think if anyone was present on Tuesday, the mess was taken. So currently, Kenya does not have a parliament. Now we only have MPs. So the mess is back with the people. So the people are the current parliament that there is. That is why the other lady said Ruto does not have any power right now, because he does not have a parliament at the moment to pass any laws. Okay. So as the people, if we decide we don't want Ruto, we don't want his government plus his MPs, because currently we don't have a parliament in the country. I don't know if you people saw what happened on Tuesday, or if you're present on Tuesday. Currently we don't have a parliament. The mess is making sound. I don't know if that person who has the mess ameshikwa or anything, but even the speaker himself cannot make any rules without that mess. He cannot pass anything into law.
But Sharon,
So currently, yes,
let me play the devil's
yes,
advocate kidogo.
okay, yes.
But you saw what Wetangula said.
Mm-hmm.
He brushed it off so easily because you are losing focus. So if you go there, they will produce another mess. Unaelewa?
The thing is this, he brushed it off because he knows as much as we are running around, they are playing on the intelligence of what happened during the times Akina Moi. Our parents didn't know anything about the constitutions. Our parents didn't know anything about the law.
Yes. Sharon, if you focus on something like the mess, trying to get power through this type of way, then you lose it. The only power you can get here is through forcing the government to go to early elections. That's possible, right?
Yes, that is the point that I was coming to. Today, the match is to tell Ruto we don't want his government. We want a new government. He's talking about IEBC. It will take time for the IEBC to be reconstituted. It will not take time for Kenyans to decide who is going to help us to make our votes. Even if it takes 30 days to get a new IEBC and we do an election, as long as we don't have Ruto on that seat, it's okay. As Kenyans, we have decided, as long as we don't have Ruto on that seat, it's okay. As long as you people are forgetting these MPs. So they are selling Kenyans' lives for 2 million Kenyan shillings. You people are forgetting these MPs were telling you, you're just making noise. You're just making propagandas. Like they were so arrogant to our faces. And then you're telling us that we give them up to 2027. You're telling us that we should not march today. Have you forgotten how these were MPs last week? Not even long ago. Last week. The kind of songs they were singing to us, telling us even if you run to the streets, they will still pass the law. Even when you are outside their door, they passed the law, not giving a fuck what you guys were doing. Nobody expected Kenyans to enter parliament, just like nobody's going to expect today that Ruto is going to calm down. Zakayo atashuka tu leo. Just like that woman said, Ruto does not have any power today. Ruto does not have any power. That is why he came to say we do dialogue. Because if he knew he had the power, he would have never come. The Ruto who spoke juzi usiku is the real Ruto. The Ruto of yesterday was a man who knew, hey, defeat is coming. The one who spoke juzi usiku saying he's deploying military, that was the real president. And if today we relent, that man will deploy military on us because he'll have all the power he wants. He will say everybody who aliandamana atafutwe one by one. And don't forget some of us even texted these MPs with their numbers.
But Sharon.
So kupatikana ni rahisi.
Mtapelekwa IEBC.
Yes.
Mtapelekwa DCI wote.
Yeah. Some of us texted these MPs with our numbers. So see ati atutapatikana, they will trace our numbers where we live.
One by one.
A majority of these people you find, yeah. So when you're telling people at whatever you're fighting for, even in Niger, when they arrested the president, Sini army will take over. But the people supported the army. The people were in front and they said, Atumtaki, we don't want this person. And now changes are making. In Burkina Faso, who took over? The people supported the president to go because they were suffering. So you want us to reach to a level when this man will sell the whole of Kenya. Have you guys not seen the documentary of what happened to Zaire after the IMF took over? After the president sold the country to IMF? You've not seen the documentary. When we are in which while right now information is on the internet, people can see how African countries are being zinaangushwa chini with this foreign powers. For our president to go and sign and say he's not part of NATO, anaonesha African zima, he's selling us that a white president will say Kenya is no longer part of NATO, and he's congratulating the government for that. And then our children are being taken to Haiti to fight a war they don't know anything about for 20,000 Kenyan shillings. And then you guys are saying it's okay. We should let him decide. Our children are in Haiti right now. Walipanda ndege JKA. They didn't even fly a private jet like him with 20,000 shillings in their pockets to go fight a war they have no idea how it started. Like Kenyans, we should really style up. When people are fighting for a cause, people should not come here and tell people that we have win. We did not win anything. That man withdrew. He did not remove it, and he doesn't even have a power of removing that bill because Parliament ilishapitisha. Now wakenda recess. Withdrawal does not mean it has been removed. In 14 days, watawaambia 14 days has elapsed. The bill is in power. alafu tutaanzia wapi?
Sharon, malizia. Kuna watu wengi wanangoja.
Yes, to finish off, tukutaneni kwa streets. I'm on my way. Tafadhali, people already on the ground. If you're coming, please come and come with a cause. We are peaceful. Mkikuja, wear your white. We are wearing white and black. Please, tuonaneni kwa streets. Okay, viva Kenya.
Thank you, Sharon. Sharon is very, very passionate about that story. There's some people who are saying, close the space, watu waende town. Sikizeni, everybody here is a grown up. Kila mtu hapa ni grown up, ana decide maisha yake vile anataka. Usianze kuinstruct watu vile watafanya. Wewe kumanna zako ukitaka kwenda kwa streets, enda. But usikama sasa unakam kutuambia nini, aren't you a tyrant? Just like the president, because who are you to tell us what to do? Everybody is in this thing for themselves. We're not doing it for you. I'm doing it for myself. Ndio kitu mnafaa kwanza mshike mjue kila mtu ni man solo. Your power is on in mobilization. Watuka Sonko has had power on the ground because Sonko was able to mobilize. So Sonko angemobilize watu waende wakadisrupt events. So he was given that power by the system. Now there's a new power that these guys didn't bank on because wanasema sisi ni watoi wa nini? Watoi wa Cerelac, watoi wa iPhone, Uber na KFC. If you lose focus, then mutaingia game yao. Na saa hii wameingia game yenyu. Sio kama mnanielewa. Mukilose focus, mutaingia game yao. You will see. Daniel Muli, what's up?
Good morning, Kibe.
Go ahead.
Good morning, Kibe. First of all, one thing that has been working out for us so far is the fact that we don't have leaders in place. I know we need leadership, but the best thing that has been working out for us is the fact that we do not have leaders because, as you have said, if we have leaders, when they do up 4, 5, 10 million, more money than they have ever seen in their entire life, they might come back and start giving us a different story. So the mere fact that the entire country is outraged and they are demonstrating is the fact that we do not have leaders in place to either be bribed, threatened, or whatever. Despite the many kidnappings, the killings and everything, people are still going out because kila mtu hapo anaenda kujipigania na anajua what they want, na ndio maana we do not have a leader in place, and that is what is working out for us. Having said that, I believe we need a plan, and as one Nyaboke has said, and amesema, without an IEBC we can't conduct any elections. So the plan, okay, there were some people that I was sharing with, and one thing that we all agreed with is that we need a team when you apply pressure on the president to form to elect the commissioners of IEBC so that we can have the IEBC in place, and different people in different areas within the country. Kama hapa in Nakuru town, the people who are here, we agree that first of all we do not want the current MP who is there for whatever reasons. Consider number one being that he'll end up with work, approve the bill, alipatiwa the 2 million and everything, despite Kenyans kwenda kuinja kwa barabara, still go against the will of the people. We start collecting signatures so that by the time the IEBC has been commissioned, we have enough signatures to recall these leaders. If every region within the country does the same, that by the time the IEBC is being commissioned, we have all the signatures ready. We have everything to recall these people. We recall all the MPs. We start the process of impeaching the president, atoke hapo iwende nyumbani, and we recall for fresh elections, because the failure in this government does not just stop with the exec. It is everywhere, from MCAs, governors, everywhere. We are seeing counties spending money anyhowly. Yani, how can you justify buying a seat for 1 million? How can you justify lunch for 11 million? How do you do that? Yet we see people in the same county sleeping hungry. It's because these people have so much money that they spend it however they want without a care in the world, and nobody is holding them accountable. The man on MCAs, they are quiet. They're not doing anything about it. So we need a plan of how we are going to get rid of everybody in the government and form a kama ni hapa Nakuru ama whichever region that you are coming from, you gather amongst yourselves, you collect the signatures and you agree on who is going to lead you going forward, such that by the time these people are coming out, we already have the people that we have already agreed on. These are the new team that is going to lead us and lead us from here going forward. But as at right now, we cannot relent, we cannot put a pause on whatever it is that we are doing, because the president has yielded. Amekubali akasema aje, he has conceded. We should continue applying the pressure so that we go to the next level. But if we pause because that RTS the finance bill atuone saa kila kitu is us, taking us for granted, taking us for a ride as long as he can. Let us not forget Cherargei ali table the motion kwa Senate, kwa hiyo National Dialogue Committee, that the presidential term limit ikue pushed to 7 years. If we allow these people, they're going to extend their term. Na iko ya president peke yake mpaka governors and all the other elected members, they're going to extend their term limits to 7 years. Meaning they may buy for themselves an extra 2 years. Tukiwa tu hapa hivi tukiendelea kulalamika, yet we are the ones, they are stealing our money, they are not doing anything, and we are still suffering. So we need to act, and the time to act is now. When they are down, we take advantage and we take our country back. And with that, I yield.
Thank you, Daniel Moli. Who else do we have here? Elaine, are you there? Gidiomi, go ahead.
Yes, I'm here.
All right. After Elaine, Gidiomi, just pick it up. Elaine, try and give us 2 minutes of content. Huh?
Let me try, because niko emotional. So, when it goes back to when imerudi National Assembly, when imerudi Parliament, the deadline doesn't start right now. After Parliament makes a decision, wanapea speaker. Speaker ndo akona deadline ya 7 days to take it back to the president. Then he has another deadline of 7 days to make an assent ama achane nayo. Na ipass automatically. But 14 days that haikauntiwi venye mmecount. You understand? Parliament doesn't have a deadline. And then another thing, I understand we started with reject finance bill 2024, but the problem is bigger than that. And if we are so myopic that these people will you will play into their game. If anything, kama kuna mtu tactical huko, they will not allow it to pass. Let me explain. Then you will keep quiet. If they don't allow it to pass, mtanyamaza. You'll stop complaining. You'll stop asking for audits of the debt. Mtanyamaza. You understand what I'm saying? We can't relent. We need to go to town. We need to make this happen. We've already started. Let's not stop. That's it, Kibe.
Thank you, Elaine. Appreciate that. Arthur, are you? Sorry, before Arthur, Gidiomi.
Yeah. I've been waiting.
Why are the women sounding more focused than you guys? What's going on here?
Yeah, I was about to say that. It's like I was wondering, if we're supposed to exchange balls or something? Because where are the warriors? Where are the warriors? Where are the men who are supposed to be up front? You know, something happened overnight, and I was watching as it unfolded, whereby people are changing their voice in a uniformly manner. You know, kuna watu walikuanga strong, you know, viva, we are in one voice, we are going for this tomorrow. And then all of a sudden they're like, come, Atulieni, you know, you don't have to go, we are focused, we are caring for your lives. And I'm wondering, what the hell is happening? Like, why is there something that, you know, you guys are not telling us? Are you being given something that we are not receiving? And at that point I knew something is being compromised, and thankfully there is no leadership. That is one of the positive things about this movement, is that there is no leadership, and that is necessary in a revolution, and that is the word that we are supposed to mark, that this is a revolution. And it is so sad to see that we are becoming soft, you know, and I'm so concerned about the men, because the men are the ones who are supposed to be, you know, pushing for that agenda. But when you hear even the men speaking, same ones who are saying that we have achieved, you know, the finance bill, it has been removed now. Let us retreat and regroup. But when you hear the ladies, they are fierce and they're so strong, pushing about this fire and the agenda that we've been pushing for all this time. And that is disheartening, because if it was Dedan Kimathi who saw this happening, he would be turning and crying in his grave. But the main important thing to remember is that it is a revolution, and revolution has no mercy. Revolution has no patience, and we started this, and we have to make sure that we have finished it, because we decided to start it. There is no way we can go halfway, because we are all marked. The moment we decide to take our feet off the neck of this enemy, who is William Ruto, trust me, he will come to us. He will come for us one by one by one, and people will be missing, and we will see something we've never seen since the Moi era. Remember, this is a student of Moi. He was there in 92. He was there in 2002. He was there in 2007. He's been here throughout, and he understands this school of thought properly. And you can see how such a psychopath he is when you look at his two speeches, the one he gave the day before yesterday and the one he gave yesterday. In one of them, he's calling us criminals. He has this military face, this face of vengeance. And then in the next speech, he's all fatherly. He's calling us sons and daughters, and he wants us to get to the dialogue table. That's a decoy, that's a Trojan horse, and if we dare fall for it, it's gonna be massacre for us all. And that is why we should not relent. This is not the time for dialogue. That is past. If they wanted dialogue, they could have done that before the killings. When we were having peaceful demonstrations, and then they were firing live bullets, shooting our heads, blowing our heads off with snipers. They could have done that before then. But then they're trying to lure us into they're giving us bait, giving us some meat, on the table, trying to call a few of us so that they can be able to hoodwink us. And then before we realize it, they have us in their pockets. We cannot allow that. That is one thing that we have to make sure, no matter what. This means when you talk about revolution has casualties. It is a bloodbath sometimes, but it is necessary.
We lost you, Gidyomi. Fix your life and then come back. Arthur.
Thank you, Kibe. Good morning. The first thing I'll talk about is the man we are dealing with. William Ruto, this man speaks lies in every statement. For instance, yesterday while he was addressing us, he said that only 6 people have died, of which it's a blatant lie. When we come to the MPs who voted yes, including my area MP, over the weekend we happened to ask him, why did you vote the finance bill? Why did you support it? Did you read it? Do you understand the repercussions? The answer was horrible. He said that since other people are voting yes, he decided to vote yes. This is an idiot. So when we say that this is our time to lead, we've already started marching towards the end goal. We all know what we want to achieve as a country. We all know what we want to get at the end of the tunnel. This is something that we must take it serious. And when we come to 2027, everyone should vote. We will have large numbers and we will wipe out all these people who've been supporting the bill. They are passing laws without considering anything
But
or anyone.
Arthur,
Yes.
the government has seen that you guys are at a movement and they're ready to sit with you. So shouldn't you change your focus to how to get as many Gen Z into parliament with these numbers, or into Senate, into MCA office? Because leadership has to come from you guys. If you so are you considering that fact? Because nyinyi mnaongea ni kama hii story inaisha leo, na ikiisha leo na mjajipanga, then
You
tomorrow
cannot
there's no
have a
action.
cannot have a dialogue with this government. What
So
kind of dialogue
what
do
do
you
you
want
want,
to have?
Arthur? Because you don't want to have a dialogue. Because yesterday, the whole group of people, they were waiting for the president to say something. Kweli uongo?
There are no time for negotiations, Kibe.
No, nakuuliza swali, ni kweli uongo? Everybody wanangoja because mnajua. So I didn't see the reason why people were waiting, because you should have already made up your mind as to what it is that you want to do. You get my point?
Yes. But you see, at this point, most of the people were not aware of this finance bill. They were not even understanding it. That's from even our parents. They're like, this is our area MP. Let's support him. Let's support this and this. The moment you explain to them, that's when they'll realize we babbled. That's it, Kibe.
Thank you, Arthur. Appreciate that. Who else is here? Before I come to you, Justice Aboka, you have a minute.
Thank you, Kibe. I love that everybody wants to know what's next for us. But being that this is a revolution, I think we're also very careful what we're putting out there, because we are not forcing Ruto to tell us what he's up to. Why is it that everybody wants to know what we're up to? I think our movement is on course, and we look confused, but we're not confused. We look like we don't have people who are taking care of stuff, but we do. So my message to any leaders out there, we are here. We are coming. We are not stepping back. And we are not going to give you all our cards, so you know what we have in store for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Justice Aboka. Appreciate that. Let's keep it moving. Quickly, ukipewa mic, Piana, your 2 minutes, and leave it for somebody else. There's so many requests. See Mariette.
Thank you, Kibe. Sorry, thank you, Kibe. Whatever has happened, we were dealing with a schema, and we knew from the word go. I even thought that these people who came just after the second day, after the first demonstration was successful, there are people who came out and became very vocal, and these people had so many followers on this X account, and they and even on TikTok, and they wanted to just establish their presence in it so that they can spin it around. There is a saying that if you can't fight them, join them. And they usually do these things. It's not the first time that a revolution has been. It's not the first time that they have done something like this. You join a faction. Even in ODM, there are people who are working for the government but are in ODM. That's why you'll see some leakages. There are people who are working in the government and they're in this other opposition. So whatever happened yesterday, it was just a matter of when. It was a matter of when. They are even as we speak now. Here we have got government agents who are using some parody accounts. You can't say for sure this is one of them, but there are so many of them here listening to what we are saying, so that they know how they can spin it around. We have got so much. We can still wait for 2027 is the deadline, but we've got so much. As we speak now, I've been saying the parliament is illegitimate. it has never passed that. It has never done what you say, the 2/3. We have never achieved the 2/3 gender rule, and the courts, the judiciary, if we petition it, it is obvious that the Chief Justice will just advise the president, and it's an advice that the president is supposed to follow according to the constitution. He has to just. That is one option. Another option, and that is one option that is very valid, and it's very easy. The best way of recalling this members of parliament, because we elected you to represent us. How do you call the KDF on us? In 30 minutes? No. So this is the first option. Before we wait for 2027, actually we need to exploit so many options now. And we have so many options. If we just say no now, ICG tutafika wapi? Asante Kibe.
All right. Thank you, C. Marriott. Miss Ongeri, are you there? Omogusi, Liz True, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
What did you think
So,
about like when some of these guys went to the DCI, when they went for interviews on the TV station? What did you think about that?
okay, number one, people going to the TV stations to express themselves, that is not a bad idea. But at this moment, with everything that is going on, one thing I'm sure we don't need is a leader or a political party at this time. Because the minute a leader a political party is applied in this situation, they are obviously going to be bought out. So let them address us as one people without having to call representatives on the side. So that is all I have to say. All this thing about political party having a leader in this situation will not cool the fire. And another thing is that our president, the time the president was supposed to give the right speech, he came out angry as a dictator, trying to dictate people and to speak his mind. And then later he comes, what the hell, like, mbona anatuambia unga ya 100 in a situation whereby he was supposed first to start with the condolences, but he's there telling us his wins and finishing with his wins, not forgetting the area MP my parents chose for me because I did not vote. Like, seeing these people rubbing it on, belittling you, as in ni kama umeandika mtu kazi na anakuonyesha madharau mbele yako, as in you don't have the power but I have the power, as in this thing must pass without even listening to their people. We should do better. We should do better. They should do better, and they should be very aware that they are actually dealing with a woke generation. They are dealing with people they took to school. They are dealing with people in walifunzwa freedom to freedom. Our parents never really exercised their freedom very well. So that is why leaders up to today do whatever they feel like doing, because wanajua wana deal na watu wenye who ni kama hawaelewi what is actually happening, ama people who let it pass. Unlike us, we are not going to let it pass. We are not going to let it pass. We are not going to let them do whatever they feel like doing in the seats that we actually put them in. So it's never going to happen completely. We are not going to allow this trend to continue. That is why many youths are jobless. Things are not working out in Kenya, not because that the taxes we are giving at the moment are not enough, because the taxes that we are giving at the moment, they are squandering it. And then they come up with a finance bill that does not make sense at all. So it's about time people stand up. It's about people just stand up, and then they should know actually the people also have a very big role to play apart from the roles that they play. So that is all I have to say. Otherwise, a luta continua.
Thank you, Ms. Ongeri. As much as you guys may not want to factor this in, your next step will need representation. Mupende musipende. Otherwise, what you're saying is you want how do you say it? I can't even find a word for that. Your next step, nakaa kuna mtu ana deal na mobile applications. If you deal with mobile applications, I have a suggestion, I have an idea here, and you can tell me if that idea makes sense. You guys need to look for a country called Estonia. Estonia has been voting via digital for the longest time. Estonia votes kwa phone. Mobile app inakaa inasema because tunaweza we can petition the government to give us that as an option. Because kama watu wanakama hapa 100k, mliona hiyo space ya jana si 130k. Then our campaigns are not on the ground. Mnanielewa? Victor.
Yes, thank you. Can you confirm that you can hear me?
Go ahead.
Thank you. First of all, I want to speak from a point of anger. First of all, just to address the police. Fuck you, and I don't know, you are being controlled by these politicians who are a cancer to the society. You see, I'm speaking from a point of being a victim of police brutality. You see, on these past protests, I came out just to protest with my placard there, but I was given one for the I was given a baton on my on my back, and then a tear gas canister hit my belly, and then I fell down. Also, I took all that tear gas, and some people come here, people have gunshot wounds, people have died. Then all of a sudden, people are dropping the conversation. We are being told to give the government time. You see, let me tell you this: why most people, I included, there is some scheme or a group of people who first they say they're not leaders, but ideally they act as if they're speaking for us. Because look at the political leaders, or even when these cabal, they go to crusades or they are on a campaign trail, they have what you call talking points, or they have an agenda. They'll have, all of them will speak in a suit. It's like they slept in the same bed. They have the same conversation. So before they come to address the masses, they have talking points. Cairo was the first person to start saying that we should not march to State House. Yes, it's a protected state and it is very reasonable. Then he went ahead to say that we should give the government time, at least 30 days. He's even giving us the timeline to see what we can do, or what we can talk here and there and stuff. Then later on, some influencers followed suit. What was the tone? It is a protected area. Remember, the bill was withdrawn at 4 p.m. They're addressing us dead in the night at midnight when people are sleeping, and all of them with the same undertones. We should be careful, we should give them time. That is what sucks. The fact that all of them are speaking the same thing as if they're controlled. There is no one speaking independently. You'd rather say, let us just avoid State House, let us go to CBD, let us restrain ourselves there, let us hold the demonstrations here and there, other than telling us to give them time. How do you honor the oppressors who have already killed us by allowing them to lead us even more? It beats logic. It doesn't make sense. So what can I urge all of us to do? One, let us not be controlled. Let us not follow what we call influencers. Let us not be brain controlled. And let us try and sieve politicians from leaders or even from representatives. For a person who was a victim of this particular whatever, let me tell you guys, if we will be doing this lukewarm, today we'll go into the streets, kill 20 of us, then we say, this one is a bit risky, let us just go and cool down. Then they'll go and fuck us up again, then we'll go back to the street, kill another 30, and then they cool down, then go to the street, kill another. We'll be just going on and off, and in the long run you'll have more dead than you can ever imagine. So let us be united in our resolve. Let us not be intimidated or anything else. Otherwise, thank you very much, and we continue with the struggle.
Gidiomi.
Oh, sorry. The last time the mic did me dirty. I don't know if it's the cable underwater by Safaricom or what happened. But as I was concluding, there is something interesting we know about opportunities is that they come once in a lifetime. And once you get an opportunity like this, it never comes again. And if you do not take advantage of this opportunity that we have never seen probably in the history of Africa, in the history of Kenya, we've never witnessed it. Probably it can be called as the gate that opens us to the actual freedom that we've been looking for. If we do not utilize this opportunity, we might not see it ever again, or even our children or grandchildren, or even great-grandchildren. So this is the only chance we have, and we have to take this chance seriously, and we cannot relent at all. And this fire that has started, this fire that has been able to shake Kenya and its environs, this fire that has been seen not only in Kenya, but it has been seen in different planets and witnessed all over the world. This fire traditionally, which when it was being started in the kitchen, it was not supposed to go off, and it only went off when the owner died. We cannot allow this fire to go off. We cannot allow this fire to die off. We have to maintain this fire. We have to make sure that we are adding firewood. If it goes all low, we have to add fuel. We have to make sure that we are on its course day in, day out. And there has to be steps followed. The first step right now is actually written on the space, is that current cruel regime, it has to be done away with. We have to reconstitute the IEBC. We have to have a new team that is able to lead us with dignity, with accountability, and with us being involved, not in the outside, because we have learned what that does to us, because we've been involved from the outside, just looking and waiting after 5 years to re-elect people, and we don't know what they've been doing with our money. We don't know what they've been doing with our resources. We don't know what they've been doing with ourselves, because they've been sellouts. They've been puppets of the International Monetary Fund. They've been puppets of the World Bank. And that is why we are being crippled by all these debts. So we have to be actively involved. And by actively, the Gen Z has to make sure that there is a serious team that is there, and it has to be passed through into Parliament to make laws. And they have to be kept accountable by the other people. In case you do not fulfill the desires of the people, you're kicked out. But before we get there, that's a long shot. We start with we say a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So we do away with the current regime. We recall our members of parliament, especially those who said yes, those who've been flashing our money on our faces and telling us we don't know what they can do to us. We have to recall them.
Gidiomi.
Yeah.
Once you guys are talking so many like this, they are so happy because new wote mnaongea, new wote mnapeana advice. How is that possible, my guy? How long does it take children at the playground to select the alpha?
It doesn't take long.
So what are you guys afraid of? Why do you keep talking about this leaderless business? Because now you've gotten what you want. Now move to the next stage. And the next stage come in the State House, muende.
And that is the next stage.
Because let me tell you what introducing what is this word? Is it lethargic? Like wacha nitafanya postpone ile inaitwaje? There's another bigger word. It sounds very nice for the educated Gen Z. Who knows that word? Procrastinate.
Mm-hmm.
So once you procrastinate na mnasema ama tutafanya tu siku ile watatuzushia tena, tutaenda kwa streets. Siku gani? Kama mkupanga kwenda kwa streets nyi wenyewe mlipangwa mtaenda kwa streets siku gani? Strike while the iron is hot. Wacheni kuongea, kila mtu anapeana advice. Who are the people? Because Gideon,
Yep.
just like you're afraid of them identifying the leaders, they automatically identified the leaders based on who was the loudest. So Hanifa, someone like Cairo, someone like what's his name, Gaido. So they identify. The only reason why they cannot touch Miguna is because Miguna is not in the country and it doesn't depend on their money. Miguna just likes a fight. But that notwithstanding, wacheni kuogopa kuenda pamoja, because kama mko na mtu then atakosa kuingia kwa nini. So now you be creative. This is now what we should be discussing, because what was streets wanaenda streets. Hapa watu wengi ni wa international these are diaspora people. So the next stage is you must identify amongst yourselves who is the one who is least incorruptible and has the best intentions for us. You get my point, Gideon, as you finish?
Yeah, I get you 100%. And I agree. And that is where I was also appalled by, what happened last night. Some people trying to be going to deter people from actually going to State House as agreed. But we have, whether it takes our lives or not, we have to be remembered. We've already lost lives, we've lost blood, and we cannot relent. And we will keep going, and we will keep restructuring, and we will have to make sure that we take this, whether we kidney or dignity. Thank you, Kibe.
Thank you, Gideon. Appreciate that. Let's hear from a lady. The ladies are giving me good. They're giving good vibes. They're giving energy. They're giving a luta continua. Men today are useless. Rachel, what do you think? Rachel, Mani Raquel. Raquel Washira. Now we have another lady here. Vicky Negesa. Okay,
good morning. I'm here.
Go ahead, Vicky.
Yeah, first, I want to give condolences to the lives that have been lost since we started this movement to reclaim this country. I am not a Gen Z, I'm a millennial. I'm so grateful for the bravery that is being shown. And now is not the time to lose focus. And you're touching on something very important, that now that we are heading and we are getting closer to achieving what it is that we've been fighting for. We need to identify people that can pick up the power when it falls. I know that people are afraid to name these people publicly, but if leadership in this is a must. The much as we are in a movement that has not been compromised by picking a few people to speak on behalf of the movement. Yeah, so far that has been great. But at this point, if there has to be some sort of leadership, that is one. And then two, for any influential person telling people been lost, because one, who is responsible for the lives that have been lost? We saw people being shot on live television, on live TV. People were getting shot at on live TV. How is that happening in 2024? How is that okay? How did we get there? Somebody has to be responsible. And your president is not going to stand and say that I'm responsible for him. He's the one responsible. You cannot start pointing fingers and telling us stories that don't make sense. And of those that died are dogs. Are they not people? Because you're not counting them. You know, you're starting, but you're not even accountable. You cannot even give the correct number of people that have died. Is this? Because first you start by addressing these human lives that were lost. Tell the truth. Give us the real numbers. Up to this point, there are people missing. Samuel is missing. He is writing funny things. Some people are still missing. The abducted people, they're still missing. How do you think we're going to go on business as usual? That cannot happen. So this is not the time to lose focus. The fight is still on. These people still need to listen to so much. And if we relent right now, I think we would have lost the fight. There's nothing to celebrate. As lawyers are advising, the bill is still, I don't know, it's unclear whether it's still not going to pass or not. Even that is unclear, because this person is a lying piece of shit. He lies on every chance he gets. How do you even trust what he's saying? Even what he's saying right now, it's not clear. The bill might still have a chance in the small print of passing. So even that, we're not in the clear. We're not in the clear by far. There's nothing to celebrate. There's nothing to celebrate. So maybe not occupy State House. I'm not so sure about that move, but the marching today, going in the streets, blocking every road, and, you know, somebody needs to be held accountable for that. People have been abducted and still missing. We still need, you said people are not adapted. So where are these? Just a tactic of intimidation that do this so that these people can back down. There's no backing down. There's no backing down, guys. There's no win. In my opinion, there's no win. There's nothing to celebrate. Thank you, Kibe.
Thank you, Vicky. Beautiful message. Yeah, there's no win. What win do you have here? And me, I want to come in as an advisor, because you guys by one too excited. Your excitement inakam na emotions. Na hizo emotions sasa mkiambo tu na mtu Kibe ni mbaya. Oh, Kibe is bad. Record ya mtu ni gani? Who is in bed with the government? Boniface Mwangi na Hanifa wakijipeleka DCI walikuwa wametumwa na nani? Didn't they go to present themselves as the leaders of the movement? Himself as a leader of the movement? Kithini or Indekni, your revolution will be hijacked. Hello, STP Mwangi, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Kibe.
What's
So
up?
thank you for, yeah, I'm good. We need a leader. What we need is an agenda. So initially our plan was to push for the total rejection of the finance bill. What is the next agenda? I've seen, and let us see, today we occupy State House the whole week, and we managed to get the best result of having Ruto out of State House. What next? Do we all become presidents? Who become the president? Our intent. We don't personally.
But Nani, STV Mwangi, aren't you saying that you don't need a leader, yet you're putting points across that need to be considered?
Let me just finish. Let me finish.
So, let me ask you the question so that we can get there faster. So
Okay.
when you talk about leaders, who are you talking about?
So I mean people to represent the young people. We don't need them. I don't mean Ruto. I mean people to represent us who are pushing for this change. We don't need them.
Why not?
Let me explain. So just to go back, so we don't need a leader. We need an agenda. Initially, our agenda was reject the finance bill. But what is it that we want to achieve? Personally, I would say the next course of action should not be going to the street. The next course of action should be identifying what is the next agenda. What are the things we want done? And I'll give an example. We have some of the most punitive to withdraw the SHAF, withdraw the NHAF, withdraw the housing
So
levy, reform the police.
Just get out of your emotions, okay?
Yes, sir.
Toka kwa emotions kidogo, tuongee kama wanaume, tuache hiyo upuzi, okay? Because it just sounds like you guys are just happy talking about how the government is bad. But even this, when you say withdraw this, withdraw that, who is going to say that?
So let me
kuna lazima mu identify my leaders wenyu, mseme mse amekuwa consistent, mse anaweza tubongea, mse akona whatever it takes to be a representative. Why are you afraid of that?
Let me finish what I was to say. So I was saying the next step is identifying what is the agenda. Now, how do we identify the agenda and how do we push this agenda? So yesterday we had a very successful space. We can have a space. We can have the tech people creating an open source application where people can actually vote for top 10 issues we want to prioritize. Now, the moment we identify the top 10, we don't need someone to tell us. We just need people to actually vote for those top 10 issues. From there, we document them. And then we give the government maybe 30 days or 60 days to implement those issues. And if that is not done, we can then mobilize people, go to the street, and push to have those
STV are still avoiding the elephant in the room. Upende usipende, kuna mtu lazima atakaa kwa hiyo meza. Upende usipende, bro. Na najua you don't want to hear it because you guys have been pushing the leaderless narrative for very long. But that's done.
But Kibe, do we really need someone to tell Ruto withdraw the housing levy?
You guys, when you told him, went to the streets, uliona vile alikuja kwa TV, akawaita nini criminals. He called you treasonous fellows.
We don't care. Finally, the bill was withdrawn. We don't need anyone to tell Ruto.
No, I'm trying to tell you. If you're going to go in there, you must create your parallel system. Otherwise, without a parallel system, then you become just like KJ. You become like content creation. Ukichekisa him to Erica, he's trying to get into that seat. Someone like all these people are going to leverage themselves into the seat. Are you getting what I'm saying?
No. So keep it. If you can give me 2 minutes, I just finish what I was saying.
No, STB unatupoteza because I want to kuingia paperwork.
No, just give me 2 minutes. I just finish what I was saying. I mean, it's just my opinion. So, agenda.
Did we lose STV?
Joining.
Start again.
Building. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you. Just go back to the sentence, the beginning of the sentence.
Okay. So what I was saying is, number one, we don't need a leader. We need an agenda beyond the finance bill. How do we identify this agenda? We need the tech community to build an open source decentralized system where people can actually vote for the issues identified in the tech space, whether it's within TikTok, Twitter, or any other place. Once people have identified these issues, then from there we just join either space or any other platform. We tell the government these are the issues we want done in the next maybe 30 or maybe 60 days. And from there, if nothing is done, we just take action, go to the street and demo. Now, so for me, what is important now is not occupying State House, not Ruto must go. It's for us now to sit down and identify what do we need to do beyond.
Oh, STV sounds like he's reading from a cartoon. Because all these we, who's going to identify the we? Achien, go ahead.
Hi, Kibe, and hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you for this space. I feel so disappointed in our men, Manze. The women come out, and then we speak, we say sense, and then the men come. You guys are diluting the whole conversation. You guys are not taking up lead. It's like when people are saying boy child, it is actually showing in this space. Kibe, one thing I'm gonna say, you said about leadership. That is very true. Any state that doesn't have a proper government is termed legally, I'm an advocate, it's a state of anarchy. Yeah, you need someone who will be there. But as the moment right now, this thing caught everyone by surprise. We were all angry and we all had our phones. We were all seeing how these people are using our money left, right, and center. And then they started calling us digital wankers. Digital wankers kasema, hapana, we need to go out and fight for our rights. These more freedom fighters, 1991, when Section 2A was repealed so that you can have multi-party democracy, so that you can enjoy the freedoms that people are enjoying right now. And people want to suffocate us. And you guys are saying that now we need to sit down and talk. I feel like we're being the Lulu. Let's go back. Ruto has a whole ICC. Guys, I'm actually worried. You know, yesterday we were 130,000 and somebody tweeted that State House is listening. Do you think we'll ever have any chance? Okay, I'm not saying we go to State House and we vandalize and no. Even if we're going out to march, the people who are retracting right now, sit down and talk with who? Haven't we been talking? Amma, what have we been doing? People have been complaining. These people went and drafted that bill. I want us to understand that a bill is not drafted in exclusion. Drafting a bill is one of the hardest courses in Kenya School of Law, manze. Hawa watu wakaenda wakadraft bill, wakatafuta takataka zote, wakaweka hapo. You know, I always read that bill to get reasons to get angry. Yesterday, I came across a provision, guys. I don't know if locusts, we have such a pandemic of locusts in our country, but last year and this year, the bill for locusts is 5.3 billion. 5.3 billion, we're tackling locusts. And then people are saying we go sit down with these same people that are flashing money and then when it come tutadu. Let us remember, ule Ruto wa kwanza, ndio Ruto, guys. Huyo mtu angeweza kutuchapa, si wote hiyo siku kwa hiyo TV angetuchapa, by the way. I don't know if you guys, he was really mad. And then when he went out and called us criminals, that's when people are like, no, ours. So the people who are the Lulu like him are like, hey, okay, right now let us play some PR. And then they play PR from all fronts. And then I was online at that time. All these people, they went down at the same time. Those soldiers, like online, walikuwa na tweet the same, like it had Ruto's handwriting and his people all over. I want to say this. I was an advocate and I was in Azimio's legal team. Guys, that Supreme Court judgment, I had it the night before and I was sent by one of these people's advocates. Siati nini? This is wrong. This is a chance we have, even though we don't have to go and occupy. Our voice needs to be heard. Why do you guys want to silence something that even the bigger people are like, we are so proud of us. We are taking time to read this thing. Ruto goes and reads a whole speech of us. Tunaenda tunaitafuta tunasema imetoka ChatGPT. And then you think Ruto will, after all this, he will sit down after we've embarrassed him like this. He will sit down and just let us do our things. A small government in Twitter. This is a government. This is a rally, like Kibe said. 130,000. Imagine kama sasa hizo rally wana hold. Tukisema, mtu akihold rally, tunaenda, guys. Will they ever come out? If they say, okay, we're not marching, but we say every time they hold a rally, we hold a Twitter space and we say we're going to that rally to voice. Will they ever come out? Guys, I think I'm getting emotional, but this is our voice. Let's get out. So many people have died. I've had the number is 150, guys. Personally, I'm in groups. I've lost like 3 friends. You know, you might think it's far, but as you go out in the streets, that stray bullet could have been you. Mnataka kuongea na watu walieka sniper juu ya parliament. You know, in law, for you to commit a crime, you have to have the malice aforethought. You have to have thought about it before. Mkitolewa nyinyi mkishutiwa, mna struggle hata kufika kwa jamii kupata usaidizi, hawa wanahepeshwa parliament na ambulance. It's not fair. Mtu Kasifuna anaenda kututetea hapo, anauliza why you shooting live bullets? And guys, you want to sit down. People have lost their lives. God damn it. Wanaume mnafaa kuwa huko mbele. Why are we being more vocal than you? Kibe, I'm done. Like, I'm done.
Hii kitu imekudunga?
Imefika personal. Wacha mtu mwingine achukue microphone, but let's just, if you're to be objective, Kibe is saying something that's true. We need a leader, but we need somebody who's clean. Okay, has been defending us for so long, but haizi ongea. But tumekuwa we need that money. He's been fighting for us. We need clean people. For now, we don't. We accept hatuna mtu, ni ukweli. Tunakan kama tuko aimless. But we have an aimless voice that's being heard all over the world. If we're not, those scandals, the white t-shirts, let's get out. People have died, manze. Those are people with families. Mama alikuwa anatoka Githurai kwanza, guys. Githurai. I think we're forgetting. What was that in Githurai? What was that? That is a massacre. That's a crimes against humanity. A cheater never changes its prince. Ruto ni ule wa kuchoma ile chachi ya Kiamba, ndio huyo. Mini badi. Amenitan mimi soft babe into mtu unapiga makelele hapa online. Hata mtu anaweza shangaa. Msichana ina gani? Atuache mchezo. Let's fight for our rights. We are carrying water. We are carrying toothpaste. Let us get out. Our voice should not be silenced. Not at this point. We are really so close. Even the people, mnatishwa baridi. Hata wale watu wako kwa military wanasema, watoto hawajui. Manzi hawajui. Wako so close. Yeah, let's not be real. Wanasema ngati, when they came into power, they are a prayerful government. Guys, this is the prayerful government. Ile inawekea snipers juu ya parliament. Hao ndio masagod. Afadhali ule Uhuru alikuwa anasema ni wapombe na mavela. Sisi watu wa mavela tunakuanga very real. We keep it real 100 all the time. Waneka budget ya 1B State House kunywa chai. God damn it. Unless hizo cows inatoa gold. Mama napewa tenda ya furniture. Ya ngapi? Ndio aturingi hapa na rahaga yake akiweka hapa online. Na magari zetu, pesa zetu. We work 8 to 5 for mediocre advocates. How much are we getting for a junior advocate? Wengine mnaanza na 40,000 after you've gone to school for how long? You've gone to school undergrad for 4 years. KSL ikupige chenga hapa, maybe utoke ukwe lucky 2 years. Some people are even there for 4 years. You go earn 40,000. This man wants to tax this money. And we're not against taxes. We're against our tax being used the wrong way. We want accountability. And when you demand for accountability, it's a favor they're doing us, guys. It is not a favor. And that is why when we need leaders. You see how leaders ndo atasema sasa hapa tunaenda grassroots. Kwanza hii nasema IBC kesho tunataka elections in 1 month. Now see us sitting pretty as they eat our money. And I know I'm being bitter. Yani nimekuwa najua mtanitumia my DMs pro Ruto nyinyi. We are fighting for the country. It's not about tribes. Right now you've not had anything. Watu wanasemanga Raila, jeshi ya baba, Wajaluo, mmetusikia. I'm sorry to be personal right now. It is us. Let's fight for us. Our voice is one. Us the iPhone babes, us the KFC people. But we're the ones analyzing this document that they just wanted to pass blindly to the whole country. I think we need to take up, and to the wakilis, start doing proper civic education. Most people don't even even know. It's as if you guys would know. So many bills pass in parliament that to me, the government of Kenya to make this finance bill a life or death situation is baffling. Alafu waende Githurai pali waliwavotia na waende wawamada hata hapo sikuelewa by the way. Hiyo script nimemiss. Hiyo nitarudia, hiyo syllabus ilienda haraka sana. What was that in our own country, 21st century, 2024? We should not agree, guys. No, me, I'm not taking it lightly. Niliona mtoto sijua how old ameshutiwa. Mtu mwingine alikuwa ameshutiwa bullets 3 kwa miguu. Hey. Otek. Yeah, that's all. Let's just our voice. Let's not silence our voice.
Hey,
Let's not silence our voice.
yeah, okay,
Yeah.
thank you, Atieng. I appreciate that. Atieng, I don't know why I'm madam, sijui ni kwa nini, but the ladies have more psych than men. Why? What's that about? What's going on there?
Kibe.
Charlo Kule, what do you think that is?
Yeah, thank you, Kibe, for giving me this opportunity to speak on this podcast. Now, I want to say a few things in the next 1 minute or two. A seed has been planted, and why we are here is to keep that seed growing, and we must not stop watering it. And we all understand that there are many things, or there have been many things that have been going wrong with this administration, and finance bill was just the trigger that caused the beginning of this revolution. And to speak into the emotions and whatnot around it, I would say this: it is very easy to whip emotions than logic, but as the youth of this country, I'm a millennial myself, we need a balance of emotions and logic. We need to be sober, even as we continue running with this revolution. Revolutions are not won in a day. Revolutions go on for some time, if you ask me. But the issue of leadership is very key, and I would say this: being leaderless is a curse and a blessing at the same time. Why? Being leaderless, it is very easy to keep going and mobilizing, because Kibe, myself, Achieng is not waiting for someone to tell him or her, let's go. But we also have to be cognizant of the fact that it is very hard to keep track of key deliverables when you do not have leadership. It is very hard to strategize without leadership. And we must understand, we are on this side and they are on that other side. Don't think that they are sitting pretty somewhere. Just know that this is war, and wars are won on strategy, and we should strategize as well. That is why it is very critical. As much as we'd want to say currently it is, my daily JD description involves strategizing, and the essence of strategy is to plan, to know what, the how and where, and then from there you proceed to the next step, which is to execute what you've planned. At the end of the day, after your execution, you have to sit back and do a retrospect, understand, or rather see the things that you planned. Have you done them in your execution period? Because if we are not walking in the same voice, this is to say, I am in Nairobi currently, I know what I'm fighting for. Does that guy in Turkana, that Gen Z in Turkana, that Gen Z in Garissa, that Gen Z in Mombasa, that Gen Z in Lunga Lunga at the border of Tanzania, do they have a list of the things that we are fighting? If you call someone to stand up today and you ask them, now, we are fighting for the rejection of the finance bill, 2023, 2024. Now we are fighting, we are continuing our fight. What are the things that we are fighting? And this has been the problem that we've had, which also speaks into civil education. Why am I saying this? You find that people are just going in a crowd. If you tell them what the crowd is fighting for or what the crowd is all about, they will not be able to itemize the things that the crowd is advocating for. We need to walk in the same pace, cognizant of the things that we are fighting for. And for me, as I finish, we must be able to have a list of the things that we want addressed and in what order. You cannot have 20 things and then you want them done at the same time. Sometimes it could be, sometimes it is not possible, mostly it's not possible. So we need to have that list and the order that we want them achieved. Then from there, now we can now look at what are the tactics that we are going to use, demos being part of them, to make sure that we achieve what we've itemized to achieve. For me, lastly, taken back to Parliament. For me, if you ask me today, I would say we go and camp at Parliament, withdraw that bill in totality because of the intricacies that can happen in lawmaking, looking at our constitution. Then for the other things that we need addressed, then we rally with demands are met, including the resignation of the president, if it has to come to that point, including like to see. Thank you, Kibe. Back to you.
Kibe, can I say something? Uliniita nilikuwa najipanga kwenda maandamano.
Ushatoka? Yeah, thank you. Give us your points.
Okay, so first things first, I'll talk about what I know and shun from what I don't know. Speaking from a POV, and I'm a journalist myself. And one thing I'd say, kwanza kabla nianze, is just to condemn all the journalists, peer number one, because at the end of the day, we are looking at a good example, mse kama Larry. Looking at him, what he is actually doing, one mse mwenye amedefy all odds, he's not being bent at all. Nacheki, alafu my fellows here, I actually did a tweet in regards to the same jana. My fellow journalists hapa hivi, because we know, sisi ni watu wenye Wednesday pale jioni tuko bunge, tunapatiwa tu hizi handouts na hawa UDA MPs. That's why people are afraid of talking. And kukuonyesha hii kitu ya Ruto jana ilikuwa ukora. Look at the media stations that were even given chance to like speak out. Hao ni watu wawili. Hiyo ni Cape Media. And we're also looking at MediaMax. Angalia who they are affiliated to. So this whole thing was planned. Because as a media practitioner, I know there is one thing about priming and framing. Media ndo inatumikanga saa zingine kuset agenda. So in as much as tuta come out kukondem, and I was even telling a couple of friends ile time yenye wasoa na wanaanza kukondem hapa ati Kibe amesema hii, ye ni mbaya, Butita ni mbaya, nini, ni sawa. Guys can condemn, but we also not looking at the people who we are supposed to condemn, because kazi ya media ni nini? Tuko hapa hivi ndani sisi wote. Kazi ya media ni nini? But we are seeing the people are not even saying anything. Unaona, because kuna ile kitu yenye wanasemanga ati kuside. You are also allowed to have your opinion, because what is happening right now is actually not supposed to happen. So hiyo ndio beat yangu about the media na ukore yenye inafanyika, because at the end of the day they are also being twisted to try and create a certain agenda to the people. Unaona, na ndio maana huwezi cheki mse wa media, mse wa Standard anapewa hata mic aonge, hauta cheki mse wa Royal Media pia anapewa mic aonge, because they know what they will ask. And probably that's the same thing enye itaweka down to the ground. Alafu saizi, I'd honestly say, saini time ya ku 22, because as well as me nimefanya masters yangu, so I'm also tumia akili huwa inasaidia. A good example is Salasia. Salasia is my area MP. Mimi ni msomi assist. Huyo jamaa tunamtusi, tunafanya kafala nini, but anapiga job. Unaona? And what do we want these leaders to do? Wapige job. Sasa saa zingine, in as much as we'd want to be overthinkers, tunatoka from wako cocoons hapa hivi, kuna maloya hapa, kuna sijui watu wagani, wana overthink, wanasema ati, you know, there is this. Hiyo ku overthink ndio itafanya to drown. We are not supposed to overthink. Strike while the iron is still hot. Saizi ni point yenye tumefika, we are not even using, atufai hata kutumia akili. How can you sit down on a table na mtu mwenye alishoot mtu kwa kichwa na sniper? Anatuambia nini? Anatuambia tista supposed to reach a point yenye, because these people are afraid of force. Na sasa tukifika time yenye tunaanza kutoana chini, tunaanza kusema nini, it doesn't make sense. The only voice of reason that na believe ina to reason too, alafu tuache reasoning tukishamaliza hiyo reasoning ni a leader. Because to be honest, hata what Kibe you were saying about tumekosewa, get that straight, tushakosewa. And I'd be honest with you guys, mimi sikuenda maandamano ya kwanza on Tuesday, but from what I saw, the way vilifanya kuanzia Tuesday ndio likosa peke, but hizi zote nimekuwa bro. Why? Because I saw we've been wanting this particular thing, na kuna wase, kuna majenzis wameipush. Sisi millennials, what best can we do is to support them. Sasa kama saizi siwezi danganya, mimi sijui niko kwa rende gani, lakini naenda kama because of numbers. In as much as we have the brains, they cannot listen to us if we don't have the numbers, na hizo numbers ndio tumekuwa tukionyesha tuko nazo. In as much as tunataka kuanza kuambia hapo hivi there is this, tuna overthink. Rido, sijui, nini, tutoke tuende kwa streets. Saa zingine akili pia isaidiangi. Let us use that force, alafu tukitumia hiyo force, ya tuharibu vitu za for the numbers. Hata kuja basi tao rande tu basi. It's important that we have those numbers, and it's important that these people know that we are supposed to be here and they're supposed to listen to us. Kuna mtu kama Obina si anatokea na mse wake wa video anamwambia make sure umecapture kitu ikiniendea. Guys are taking this thing kama wana ride nayo, yani ni kama imeanza kuwa for the likes, social media imeanza kuwa nini. We are fighting for our rights, but and for the very first time voice yetu imeanza kusikika. So hii ndio time yenye hawa tuonyesha hawa kina